Hey, what's up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Today, we have an amazing show for you today. On today's show, we have a 37-year-old former social worker who doubled her income in less than a year by flipping mobile homes. She turned $20,000 into $180,000. The mobile home mommy, Nichole Briscoe. What's going on?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate you just hopping on and spending some time. Um, yeah, I'm super excited to connect with you. I'm super excited to learn your journey. Are you open to sharing like how you got started? You know, you said that you were a social worker. Um, how did you transition? I'd love to hear more about it.
Sure. Well, I transitioned because I was broke as hell. Can I say that? Yeah. Can I say that on your podcast?
Dude, you can do whatever you want. This is
Man,
great.
I gotta keep it real. So
No, 100.
so January 2020, I wanted something new. I wanted something fresh. I'm like, I love my job as a school social worker. I did it for 8 years. Um, I loved it. I had almost 15 kids in my wedding when I got married December 2019, but I wasn't making any money. I was getting paid once a month. I was making $45,000 a year. That's the most I've ever made. But the problem was $45,000 a year was only $3,200 a month after taxes, and I got paid once a month.
Jeez.
So I wanted to start 2020 off right by making some extra money. So what I decided I was going to do, I said I'm gonna get into real estate. So January 2020, I got into traditional real estate. I was excited because I had spent $2,000 on a course, and I was like, yeah, I put all my money in this. I know I'm gonna make it. Well, I put all my money in, and once I took her course, it was a great course, but she wasn't there for me to ask questions. So I had a lot of stumbling blocks, and I didn't know what to do. And then towards the end of her course, she mentioned wholesaling. And I just went down a rabbit hole on my personal mentor, and probably yours too at one point, YouTube University. So I started
Yes.
seeing all these people wholesaling houses, and I was intrigued and I was sold. So I got a house under contract. I was so excited, ready to go. God damn it, if he didn't die. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything about probate, contacting heirs. So, I'm desperate. Now that's January. That was the court. Bought the course in January. Started trying to wholesale in February. I mean, I'm handwriting letters. I didn't know about direct mailers and sending stuff off. Right. So I'm handwriting. I'm like, I did 50 letters this week, not knowing that's nothing. So March, scrolling on YouTube early in the morning, I see Mobile Home Elite Investors talking about buying and selling mobile homes, and I was excited because they were a young black couple. So I'm like, somebody that looks like me is actually doing it. So and they seem genuine and authentic. So I started looking them up, and once I started looking them up, I was sold. I went to one of their webinars. I bought their course. March 2020 is when I bought their course. I bought my first mobile home like April the 5th for $500. Put $11,000 in it and sold it for $24,000. Now remember, I didn't have any money, so I got the $11,000 from taking out a personal loan with Wells Fargo. Shout out to Wells Fargo because Navy Federal didn't want to give me shit. All I wanted was a little bit of change to get started. Wells Fargo came through. I know people talk about them, but Wells Fargo came through. They gave me a $20,000 personal loan, and I used that to flip my first two properties, and I was really excited. But with that being said, after the second property, I was like, okay, so I'm not a landlord. But I'm a lender now, okay? Because those two homes I set up on seller finance. So with that being said, I was receiving monthly payments, but I was like, it has to be more to this because my first home I put 11,000 in, the second one I put 9,000 in. If y'all can add 11 plus 9 is 20, there go my little $20,000. So I had to come up with another plan. Where I found out you don't only have to seller finance mobile homes, you can wholesale mobile homes. And wholesaling mobile homes, they're personal property. So I'm titling these little houses on wheels through the DMV in one day. That's how I got to 180,000 in 1 year. So my strategy became wholesale a house, take the funds from that wholesale deal, buy a property, fix that property up. Somebody come in, give me a down payment of about $4,000 to $6,000. Take that money, get marketing material, wholesale another house. So I wholesale, I bought one. Wholesale, I bought one. At the end of my first year, I did 23 deals. 9 of them I kept as a buy and hold, right? Those were non-seller finance properties, so I just received monthly income from those, and the rest were wholesale deals. And once I started wholesaling mobile homes, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, okay, this is really working. I'll never forget my first wholesale check. I was so startled. I was so startled that I got him on the contract for 5,000. His dad died. He just wanted to be rid of the property. It was a 1984 2-bedroom, 1 bath mobile home. It was old. He wanted 5,000 for it. I didn't know how to negotiate. He wasn't trying to go any lower. I marketed for 12 and got a lady to buy it for $17,000. I made $12,000 my first deal. And I was so nervous that that money was mine. I fell and scarred my elbow going up the steps. But that elbow, that scar, I still got it. Made me remember that first wholesale deal.
I love that. I love that. I honestly, first off the jump, I love the energy. It's so dope.
Thank
Your
you.
energy is so radiant, and thank you for sharing that story because, you're bringing me back to like my first wholesale deal also, and it was, it's interesting because as you're talking to me, and then you said you scratched your elbow, or you fell, you hurt your elbow. I think sometimes back, and I'm like, wow, in moments when I first got the first couple wholesale checks,
Mm-hmm.
I had this kind of like imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
of like, is this real? Is this legal? Like,
Right.
is can I am I what's gonna happen?
What's going to
Is
happen?
the bubble about to pop? So,
Is the bank going to get me? I
yeah,
said, maybe they're going to question me because they know I'm broke as hell. All I ever bring in is 3, and I got a check for 12. It clear. I just let the money sit there. I was scared.
I love it. I love it. And are you still an active social worker?
You know what? Yes, I am. Because I have my bachelor's and my master's in social work, and I'm out here providing affordable houses for families and also helping them with their problems. So I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I don't just wholesale and buy and hold now. I have 2 mobile home properties that I've turned into shared living homes, aka group homes. I have mobile homes inside of a mobile home park where my lot rent is $300 and I'm charging 650. The master bedroom I'm charging 750 a month for that room. So 750 a month for that room, and the other 2 bedrooms I'm charging 650 a month. So yes, I'm still a social worker
I
because
love that.
when I'm dealing with screening my tenants, they come in needing help.
And are you so you're providing the wraparound services for, or you're outsourcing the wraparound services for the tenants?
So here's the thing. I don't do traditional group home. That's why I said shared living as
Okay,
well.
got it.
Only thing I'm doing is renting the room.
Got it.
Now, in my rent that they pay me monthly, I do include water, power, uh, maintenance for the yard, which is only $25 a month, and internet. But all of my tenants, they live on their own. Honestly, 3 of them are just single men who can't afford an apartment on their own. I now have one single female that lives in the 2 bedroom with another guy, and she's just having a hard time. She has no family, but she makes steady income. But she lives paycheck to paycheck. So her applying for an apartment with 2 times the amount for the down payment, she can't do that.
I love that. And where are you based out of?
I'm based out of the Triad area, North Carolina. I'm in Burlington, North Carolina.
Okay, cool.
How
I heard
about you?
I'm based out of Vegas, Las
Oh,
Vegas.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we actively wholesale and flip in different parts of the U.S. We've definitely like scaled back quite a bit, but now we're just in Vegas, Arizona, and Arkansas.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I heard some amazing things about North Carolina. Um, yeah, I love what you're saying regarding the social work aspect, because I also have a medical company, a mental health wellness clinic,
Mm-hmm.
where we provide type 7, if you're familiar with like social work and stuff. So type 17. So we do everything mental health, substance abuse,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And yeah, I'm a huge advocate of mental health.
Awesome.
And yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
listen, I know you said you scale back, but if you do get any mobile home leads in Vegas, Arkansas, and I can't remember the others, I have students in every state. So please let me know and we could partner together to get paid because I have a friend that's in Vegas that's killing it.
I would love that. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Because
want you to don't pass up on those mobile home leads.
no, no, like it was something that so we used to do a lot of manufacture leads,
Okay.
uh, and or manufacture deals.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of switched, and now we mainly do single family stuff, and kind of weaned away from manufactured homes. But the mobile home piece is something that I've always been intrigued with because the cost is lower than like a single family residence,
Mm-hmm.
and we do something like I do something similar regarding like group style emergency housing with single family residences, where oftentimes I'll pick up a property that's like sub two, keep the existing financing in place. So it's a low cost of entry. The property doesn't need significant amount of rehab, and then I'll do the group living in it, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'll outsource the third party, or I'll outsource the wraparound services. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
basically renting it to them. But uh, I love what you said because I haven't met anybody that does that same kind of formula with the group style housing in mobile homes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a fantastic idea. And I'd love to just like drop in with you a little bit more, post this, but like, you know, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be on the lookout for some mobiles. What type of like marketing are you doing now? Is it just referrals? Is it just your students?
So I do all types of marketing. So the newest thing I just got into is direct mailers, right? So a few minutes ago, I told you in the beginning, I didn't know anything about direct mailers. So now I'm like, you know what? Let me try the direct mailers approach that I did when I was doing wholesaling houses. Now remember, I've made so much money doing this, but I'm still a baby in the game. I've only been doing this since 2020. So I haven't done every single thing. Um, so what the newest thing I do now is mailers. I just did my first deal. My first deal, my first biggest deal ever. I made $54,000 from a mobile home. I was shook. I like that deal. I'm not gonna lie, it stressed me out because I'm like, damn, this is a lot of money. I feel out of place. I had those same feelings I had from that $12,000 deal. So I've been doing mailers for the past couple of months. Um, and just this one particular lead, it just went exceptionally well. I was able to market it for way more than the couple wanted, and I made 54,000. But the mailers are new. Prior to that, is bandit signs, is referral, people inboxing me like, hey, I got a lead. I get a lot of leads from realtors because people don't know what to do with mobile homes. So a realtor gave me a lead 3 months ago, and she was like, hey, do you think you can help them? They just want the home gone. The wife died. He wanted to build a new home with him and his young child. And I'm like, sure. She was like, well, I know you're not going to make any money off of it, so you can just have it. I sold that double wide mobile home for $35,000.
Let's go. Let's go.
People just assume that mobile homes are like the shittiest thing on the planet, and they're just like, oh, you can't make money. And I don't try to convince people or argue with people anymore about how it's the highest ROI with real estate investing. I just say you're right. Send me the lead and I will pay you. Just let me take care of it from here.
Absolutely. I love that. That we get a lot of referrals from messed up title, probates, short sales. Like that's how I started this business with single family residences. I started off with seller finance back in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and doing the seller finance, I didn't have a bunch of money. So, I had what I had to get the deal done. And we fixed up the property prior to going to auction and selling it prior to auction. Um, with the seller finance option, and a lot of those referrals that come in that are shorts or probates, even with mobile homes, people are like, well, there's nothing that we can do. It's upside down. But the thing is, like for me, like short sales are one of the highest like yields because they take a long time, specifically when the market was appreciating the way that it did last year. We would get a short sale appraisal, let's say in February, and the market appreciated like, 20, 30,000. And then we would close on that appraised value 4 or 5 months ago, and then I would immediately just place it back on the market. And then like I wouldn't fix it, wouldn't do anything, place it immediately back on the market and just sell it as is. So I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
So you're currently doing mailers, and is your strategy still the same, like wholesale one, buy one, like, or has it changed since, economics, with what's going on?
So going back to advertising, I still pull more leads the basic way, which is what people don't do anymore, bandit signs. Because it's we buy houses signs everywhere, but there are no we buy mobile home signs anywhere. So I like to go in the rural areas and do those bandit signs, right? But as far as strategy, honestly, I'm a little addicted to this shared living group home money because it's higher, right? And let's just keep it real. Can I tell you how I fell into that strategy?
I'd love to, because I'll share with you mine too. It's great.
I, Bottom line, I messed up. It was terrible. I I got excited after the first two mobile homes. I went live and showed people what I was doing. I thought I was gonna get a lot of negative feedback because it was mobile homes, and the love was real. Like, oh my gosh, congratulations! So my little silly self went out and bought property number 3 and 4 at the same time, not realizing, dumbass, buying two properties at the same time means two rehabs. It means two budgets. So I got overwhelmed and I messed up. The third mobile home was placed here. The fourth mobile home was placed in the lot behind it. Well, the problem with that fourth mobile home, the park owner didn't tell me that that was a sinking lot. So every time it rained, it was just like a pool. So I had to pay to get that mobile home moved, another $4,000 to another park. All in the state of North Carolina, I'm normally spending about, let's say 15, 16,000 on a rehab, moving everything in, all in. And I turn around and sell a finance it for double that amount. So at least 32, right? Well, by the time I moved that second mobile home twice, I also didn't do a good due diligence walking through. It was a mobile home full of stuff. I just bought it. Shouldn't have done that. Once my handyman took all the stuff out, we had to replace every floor, rebuild every wall. So what I had to do, I had to come up with another strategy. I let that home sit in that park for several months because I didn't know how I could recoup my money because I had already spent $32,000 on a mobile home that didn't have any paint on the walls. I just literally rebuilt it. So I had to figure it out. And then that's when, again, we were in the pandemic. I heard on Clubhouse somebody talking about shared living, renting the rooms, not providing any services, just basic amenities. So I started thinking about it and I was like, hold on, I'm going to do this. And there you have it. I started renting the rooms out. How do I run comps on how much I'm going to rent the room for? I do that by not apartments, hotels in the areas. What's the cheapest hotel in the area? The cheapest, shittiest hotel in my area is $1,000 a month. I'm giving you clean living for $750 for a room. When I post my ads on Facebook, hey, here's my room, I get all the negative comments, but I never not fill my room in less than a week. Because there are people out here sleeping in their cars, getting separated from their spouse, not sure what the outcome is going to be. I need a place to stay. Like, I have another young guy. He had a felony from 10 years. Nobody will rent to him. He makes $25 an hour. He just can't go to an apartment and get a place. So I'm that's my strategy now. I get my homes and I keep them to rent the rooms out.
I love that. I love that. So obviously you're bringing in some cash flow through some of the wholesales and maybe some of the flips, right?
I'm doing P&P. I'm putting
Okay.
people before profits. I'm making money, but I am helping families. All of my tenants are in situations where without me, they were sleeping in their car or either living in a hotel. All five of my tenants. It's just what it is.
I love that P and P. I wrote that down because
People
that's
with profits.
yeah, that's so dope. I love that. So how many like do you have a bunch of mobiles now? How many units do you got? And yeah, what's the strategy towards for the end of the year or next year, 2023?
So it's funny you said, what's the strategy for next year? I live in the right now moment. So by the end of this month,
I
I'm
love
trying
that.
to get two more mobile homes and turn them into group homes, right? So currently I have two. I'm working on a third one now and a possible fourth one. Because again, I don't know how you do your homes, but mine come fully furnished, right? With the TV, it's basic. TV, a bed, and I always start them off with a little toiletry pack, but the living room is furnished, the kitchen, the basic microwave pots, pans. I do all of that. So that's my goal to end out 2022.
I love it. I love it. Your energy is so dope. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
do this. I do the same thing, like regarding the furnishings. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, it's not the Ritz Carlton or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
It's better than living on the street or in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I typically, either secondhand couches or couches that used to be. I know one of the properties has a couch that used to be, when I moved, I just put that couch in there because it
Yep.
was, too big for the new house.
Mm-hmm.
The beds are typically donated or, from a previous Airbnb or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to put pieces together. I think we picked some stuff up off of Craigslist or
Yep.
the
For
free
free.
space. Yeah.
Yep.
Or, if my spouse and I, if her and I are driving down the street and we see something, a cabinet or a bookshelf, like typically we'll just pick it up if it's in good condition and we'll reuse it because what I found, Nichole, is that people are so much more grateful. I had a bunch of tenants and I had some houses that the tenants were just they sucked, like they would ruin stuff, they didn't really care. And now that I notice with the model that you're talking about, the people care so much more and
Yep.
their room is like super neat.
Yeah.
I don't check on the house as much because I don't necessarily have to, but when I do, I'm like so utterly surprised on how clean it is. Their beds are made like I'm like, wow, this is like amazing. So I'm so grateful in that space, and it actually fills me up more to see that a property that's being rented out is getting like used and appreciated,
Yep.
as much as I would.
Yeah, my tenants, they take pride in their living space. One guy's former military, so he has all of his Air Force stuff on the wall. My other guy, he was like, Nichole, can I get me a garden back here? I got a reel on my page. Me and him went out to the store. I had to because my lawn care guy cut up his tomato plants. He was pissed about them German tomatoes. So I took them to the store. We got some more German tomato seeds. He planted a garden. And every time I go maybe once a month because I have cameras so I can see everything. But once I go, he always has a bag of tomatoes for me.
I love it. I love how involved you are in the process of everything. Do you currently like have a team? Is it just you? Like, how are you running inbound? Is it automated?
So I do have a team. Now, are you saying team like my team that helps me with my mailers or my team that helps me run my properties?
Yeah, so I would say, obviously the team that runs your properties is going to be more like construction, crew, gardeners, right?
Mm-mm.
Landscapers,
Say it with me.
handyman.
Handymen.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't hire contractors with mobile
Oh,
homes.
yeah.
We hire
Yeah,
handymen.
yeah. Same. Unless we got to get something permitted, but
Right.
yeah. Team when it comes to like your mailers and the inbound that comes from the bandit signs, like how is that adjusted? Do they call and then they're automated?
Oh, okay, okay.
What's the process there?
So as far as my mail is going out, I get it's it's a lot of retired folk around here that just like to help. So I get my little women's club, to sit around and mail my letters out for me. They love doing it, right? That retired club consists of my mom and some of her friends, okay? Or I have an assistant that will actually send them out for me. But my mom loves stuff in my mailers. As far as managing my properties, I really just rely on my handyman, if I could be honest. And that's because all of my properties, again, are on seller finance payments. So the way I pay my mortgage, and I can't call them and say, hey, my basement is leaking. They can't call me and say, hey, my roof is leaking. They understand that this is a seller finance deal, it's a rent to own deal. This is your home. You're just paying me as your lender. The end. I provided you a space where you didn't have to go to the bank and take out a loan. I'm the lender. They understand that.
I love that. And are you picking up some of these properties seller finance too? So are you doing a sandwich lease option, or are you just picking them up, paying cash, and then
So,
rehabbing them and then seller financing them out?
so remember, I don't do traditional real estate. I'm mobile homes, right?
Yep.
So I don't know what you're talking about when you say sandwich. So break that
Oh,
down.
so what, like, so yeah, so like with a sandwich, like a sandwich option, right? Like, let's say a mobile home comes in, or you get a lead and they're like, hey, I want $10,000. And you're like, well, I don't got 10, I'll give you 7. They're like, no. And then you say, hey, will you take payments? I'll give you 3. Will you take payments on it? So then you coordinate that with the seller, and then, you fix it up, and then you sandwich lease option it out to your tenants. Do you do something like that, or do you just pay cash for the mobile home?
I've done that one time, and I just call that me making up some shit. But now I know I just did a sandwich deal, and that was 2 years ago. But I'll make up something on the fly to make it make sense. So, for example, I bought a mobile home before they had a loan, and I'm like, how do I get this deal done? Because I'm not going to be able to get a title until the lien is paid off. So I doctored up some documentation and had the guy to give me a lump sum of cash. I called the mobile home lender, paid it off, but I also made the seller give me $6,000 to guarantee that he would send me the title. Now his wife flipped out about it. No, my apologies, but you guys aren't as smart as us women. So he was like, "Sure, I'll give you 6,000." And his wife was like, "Fuck that! Hold on, how do I know you're not a scammer? What are you about?" I mean, she went off on me. So to give her that trust factor, I'm like, "Look, I'm a school social worker. I'm not a crazy person. Here's the school that I work at." I had to give her some trust because the property was here in North Carolina. He bought it for his mom. His sister moved in it because the mom died. She wasn't taking care of it. And it was hurting him paying monthly on a property that his mom died in and his sister was tearing up. He just wanted to be rid of it. So I paid off his balance, which was I think 19,000. I made him also give me 6,000 because I had to make sure he had interest in getting me that title. And 3 weeks later, once the title came, the deal was I would give him $3,000 back once I got that title. And I sold the property for 25,000. So do the math on that.
I love it.
So I made 6,000 from the buyer and
Love it.
3,000 from the seller.
Love it. Love it. Now, if you happen to get into a pickle, like let's say you may be over leveraged or something like that, are you using your own capital, or are you raising capital to acquire some of these assets, or you just kind of playing as you go?
So honestly, I don't that's what I love about mobile home investing. It's kind of hard to mess up because I get them so cheap. So the worst deal that I've ever been in is the property that I made into my first group home. I just overspent. I bought a bad house. I'm normally in 16. I was in 32. So I got creative with it and figured out a way to get my money back faster. So instead of giving that home to one person and letting them pay me what $4,000 down, $900 a month, I'm renting those 3 bedrooms out. The master for $750, the other two for $650 a piece because they share a bathroom. So that's the worst deal that I've been in because I spent 32,000. But I'm sure for you, you do traditional real estate. 32,000 to you is absolutely nothing. So it's kind of hard to again to mess up in mobile home deals because I buy homes cheap. So that house that I spent that 32 on, I only paid $6,000 for it.
Oh, that's great. You know, you can't really mess that up. You can drag that out. You know, just my thought regarding $6,000. Let's say you didn't have the budget to rehab it. You know, you could drag that out for a little bit. You know, if you needed to wholesale a couple properties, or get a
Mm-hmm.
couple deals closed. Or piece together as it's kind of slow and go. It reminds me of some stuff that I picked up in Arkansas. Like Arkansas's, some of the houses, pretty dilapidated houses, 700 square feet, 800 square feet, super tiny, um, 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
It does need to get rebuilt, but it's on a big lot. I'm not too concerned with the time frame on when it's done because the cost of it was fairly low. I'm comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I love that. I love that. So you have a group that you like actively teach
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
some coaching students. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
So I was teaching by myself at first, right? I was teaching by myself, and I don't know if you mentor or not, but I was out here charging $500 and giving out my personal cell phone number.
Oh man.
That lets you know. I didn't know, everybody was like, teach me. And I'm like, 500? I thought it was too high. So I'm out here teaching students are closing deals. And Mobile Home Elite, again, I bought their course. They did a YouTube interview on me. I didn't know they were tracking me and watching me. I was one of their first six-figure students. They reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to bring you on the team. We want you to be our head coach. So I've been their head coach for over a year now. Mobile Home Elite Investors. I've been their head coach for a year now. I have 6 students under me that are now six-figure earners in mobile home investing. And I'm serious, y'all. It feels so good to help people with their problems. Like we're literally getting inbox like, please help me. Can you please buy my house? I'm about to get evicted. I got 2 kids and a dog. I need to go back here. I helped a lady with breast cancer who needed to get back to California with her daughter. She was here in North Carolina. Like we are literally P and P, people and then profits, y'all. Right? And so it excites me because I'll never forget when I left my job the last day, the librarian said to me, dang, you'll never be a social worker again. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I will always be a social worker and I do it more than I was doing at my job.
Yeah, more impactful too. More impactful, I think. And are you that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Um are you like scraping data at all, like searching for mobile homes, looking at different parks in the area, or just like blanket mailing mobile homes?
So I love driving for dollars. I love getting in my car, driving. I'm telling you, a lot of the methods that people consider old school, it is amazing for mobile home investing. So bandit signs, I have a couple people that put out bandit signs. I put out bandit signs, driving for dollars, going out here, finding these deals and finding mobile home park owners. It's like, can you help me fill my lots? Driving through a mobile home park, if you see the home is sitting in the park in the dirt on a lot, every part you drive through and you see a vacant lot, which is normally just a cement pad or the plumbing or the electric box just sitting there, however much the lot rent is, let's say $400, they're losing that every month. So when somebody like you and I come along and they're like, hey, can I bring a mobile home in? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're increasing their lot rent and you're also increasing the amount of their park. I learned that too. When you're bringing in a mobile home, the lot the cost of their mobile home park, depending on the area, can go up anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000. I didn't know that.
Wow, that's great.
So you make their park a higher price when they're ready to sell it.
I love it.
I got a student in California. He's killing the game, wholesaling, getting mobile homes for free. I do want to tell people once they watch this interview, if you're curious to learn more about mobile home investing, what you need to do, just go to Facebook Marketplace in these Facebook groups and type in manufacture homes so you can get an idea of the mobile homes that's in your area. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm looking on Zillow, I'm looking on mhvillage.com and these mobile homes are so high. They are high because that's what they're being marketed at. You need to find the deals that are off market. And you can do that by looking on Facebook, driving for dollars, going through these parks, and actually finding some properties that haven't yet been marketed.
That's some solid advice. That was something that, when I was first looking for single family homes,
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of driving for dollars. I loved door knocking, and door knocking is still something that I absolutely love. Um, Mailers are phenomenal, and then the driving for dollars component mixed with like a door knock,
Mm-hmm.
if you have enough time, what I would do is I would just drive, I would see the house, I would get out, I'd have my little folder with notepad or pen. I would always have a
Yep.
pen or sticky note, business card, whatever, and I would knock. If they didn't answer, I'd leave a note,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just mark it, because it's in a specific area that I liked, and I would just kind of always go back and follow up. I think that's where some of the deals are lost, is like not people following up.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Well, cool. I love it. I truly appreciate you just hopping on and sharing a little bit about like the mobile home piece, and how you're able to generate revenue. Can you share like where people can find you, the Facebook groups? Like, this is your opportunity to plug away.
Absolutely. So if you all are interested about mobile home investing, or well, let me check this girl out, come to my Instagram at mobile home mommy. That's mobile home underscore MAMI. You can follow me on YouTube, mobile home mommy. You can Google me, baby. You'll see information on me there. Facebook, I'm Nichole Briscoe, but you'll find me very quickly on Instagram and YouTube at mobile home mommy.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nichole. I really appreciate you hopping on. Like, this was great. I think, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about, what you got going on after this. But
Sure.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, cool. Dude, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate you hopping on and sharing that quick nuggets. It was dope.
Thank you. How did you find me?
You know what? I was on Instagram, and I don't know, like, you showed up on like a reel or something like that.
Because we
And
follow the same people, and I'm like, we follow the same people, and now we've never crossed paths.
yeah, I saw your thing, and I was like, oh man, your energy is dope. Like, I love connecting with people that are high spirited, high energy, and they have what it appears like a purpose driven behind making money, right?
Right.
And that's what I saw with you, and that's why I pinged you right away. And yeah, I'm glad we connected, because I'd love to do some deals with you. I'd love to do some business with you, and
For sure.
see how we can grow each other's business.
Sounds good. Well, hit me up. You have my number. And so this will be on YouTube.
Yep. And it should be like in about, I'm gonna say like 2 weeks.
Okay.
If it falls on Christmas, then we'll skip that week. But
Okay.
I'll send you over the edit before we post, and then I'll send you the links like when we post it.
Do you post clips on
IG?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll chop this up, and the reason why I recorded it like this, because then it's easier for you to drop at the bottom, me to drop at the top, on a 9:16 format.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you do that, can you invite me as a collaborator on Instagram? Just text me and let me know. Have you done a collaborator post yet?
I have.
I
Yeah,
love
for the medical brand, yeah. Collaborator post. I love it. Honestly, like, I love what you're doing regarding renting those rooms out. It's super great. As soon as you said that, it lit my heart up, because it's not just self-fulfilling,
Yeah.
Like, doing it with a purpose.
Yep, for sure. Sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'll ping you. What you got going on for the rest of the day?
So I work out intense twice a day. You ever heard of
Congratulations on the
75
weight
hard?
loss too.
Thank you. You ever heard of 75 hard, Andy
Yeah.
Fletcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished 75 hard, and I'm on phase 1 right now. But I hurt my damn shoulder because I power lift as well. So I got to go to physical therapy. I got to go around 3:15. for my first initial appointment.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw your post a couple of days ago. You were like, "Yo, what was it? No, you ran 2 miles or 3 miles, something
Yes.
like that." Yeah, yeah, it was
Yes.
super
And
cool.
my fat ass did not stop. I kept
It was
going.
so cool. Like, and your like the energy is just dope. Do you have any children or do you have a
Yep.
family?
I have one daughter. She is 17 years old. How about you?
So I have three stepkids.
Okay.
Yeah, none of my own
Okay.
yet. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, that's something that we've talked about. So
Cool. Well,
yeah,
I hope it'll happen if that's what you guys want.
yeah.
I think I'm done for right now. My baby's 17. She's about to turn 18. She wants to go into the Air Force, so we're working on that now. So
The teenagers are hard. Yeah, the oldest is 17. She's
good luck. That's all I got for you.
yeah, I gotta navigate through.
Exactly.
I don't know if she's moody today or I don't know if she's happy today.
Right.
But I know what a couple things that make her happy. One of them is food, and the other one is sleep. So as long as
Yep.
she's having those, she's just good to go.
Yep. I feel you.
Cool.
Well, all
Cool.
right. Well, you got my number, so let's stay in contact. You want to do some deals together? I'm with it.
Let's rock it. All right. It was
All
a pleasure,
right.
Nichole. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
All right. Same to you. Bye.